Thank you for attending Kentucky Public Pensions Authority Ready to Retire webinar. During today's webinar, we will discuss things you should consider when retiring, steps you can take to better prepare yourself in making retirement-related decisions. We will have a demo of how to complete your online retirement application within Member Self-Service. We will discuss finalizing the details of your retirement and what to expect after your initial retirement date. As you can see, we have a lot to cover, but I hope you will find today's webinar valuable and that it gives you some peace of mind concerning the retirement process. The decision to retire can seem a bit overwhelming. There are lots of variables that require careful consideration at this stage of your career. KPPA has narrowed down a few common questions that may be easily overlooked. Are you eligible for Social Security benefits? Social Security is a completely separate entity, so if you need additional information regarding your Social Security benefits, you may want to contact your local Social Security Administration within 90 days of your anticipated retirement date. Are you eligible for Medicare? If the answer is yes, KPPA advises you to contact Social Security even earlier than the 90 days to discuss your Social Security benefits. KPPA requires a copy of your Medicare card, so it's important to give yourself adequate time to finalize those details. Are you eligible to purchase service credit? If you are considering a service purchase, you should allow several months to obtain verification of the service. In almost every case, the service must be purchased prior to termination and while a contributing member. Do you have service in another state-administered retirement plan within Kentucky? If you answered yes to this question, be aware that other retirement systems may have different filing guidelines than KPPA. If you wish to retire from both systems reciprocally, you will need to educate yourself on the individual retirement processes for each system. What documentation will I be required to provide upon applying for retirement? In order to process your retirement application, KPPA requires legible date of birth verification for both the member and the beneficiary of your retirement account. If your name or your beneficiary's name no longer matches your date of birth verification, such as your birth certificate, you will also need to provide name change verification. The online application, as well as the paper application, gives a full list of acceptable documentation to verify date of birth and name change. There are several steps you can take now so you will be better prepared to make retirement-related decisions when that time comes. Register for Member Self-Service. Member Self-Service, often referred to as MSS, has a number of resources available to our members that will allow quick and easy access to your personal information. You can determine your first eligible and first unreduced retirement dates, calculate benefit estimates using real-time data, just like if you were sitting across from a benefit counselor in office, and you can even apply for your retirement benefits online to initiate the first step of the retirement process. To register for MSS, go to myretirement.ky.gov and click Need to Register. You will be prompted to enter your Social Security number, date of birth, 4-digit personal identification number, as well as a valid email address. KPPA encourages you to familiarize yourself with our website. You can find several of our retirement webinars and educational information under the Outreach and Programs on the KPPA website at kyret.ky.gov, along with the most recent updates and changes. While you're there, go to the Ready to Retire page under the Members tab for detailed information regarding the retirement process and what to expect after retirement. If you still have questions, we hope you will call our toll-free number at 1-800-928-4646 to speak with an experienced retirement counselor. Remember, in order to discuss confidential information over the phone, you must provide your 4-digit personal identification number or PIN. If you're unsure where to find your PIN, you can request a new one in the second step of the registration process on MSS. Our benefit counselors are happy to answer your questions over the phone, or if you meet the criteria listed on our website to schedule an appointment, they can help you with that as well. While a member can submit their retirement application up to 6 months prior to the retirement date, the ideal time to apply is within 45 to 60 days. KPPA will accept both a paper application or online application to initiate the retirement process, but KPPA strongly encourages members to apply by logging into their member self-service account. Applying online is both efficient and easy. Here are some of the reasons why KPPA loves our online retirement. It pre-populates information from our line of business, such as demographic information. Upon submission of the online application, the retirement document is immediately imaged to the member's file, and KPPA staff can view and process the form. In order for KPPA to process your application, required forms such as date of birth verification and name change verification are required. The online retirement application will allow you to upload these documents from your mobile device or desktop computer directly to your KPPA account. Section H is automatically sent to the appropriate contacts for employer verification of leave balances and final wages. And most importantly, there are far less invalid applications due to the parameters built within the online retirement module. Now, let's take a look at our demo of how to apply for retirement online by logging into Member Self-Service.
My name is James Isaacs, and I'm going to walk you through the Self-Service Retirement module. When you enter Member Self-Service, navigate to the bottom of the screen or to the Services drop-down where you will find the Apply for Retirement link. First, note that you can only submit an online application up to 6 months in advance of your retirement date. Additionally, there's an automatic logout after 15 minutes of inactivity. If you are logged out, you'll need to log back in and restart the process. Also, the retirement process is paperless. By submitting your retirement online, you will be sent your retirement packet via internal messaging in Member Self-Service. Last, your retirement and termination date will be shared with your current employer. There are some things you'll need in advance of submitting the application. This includes your beneficiary's name, social security number, date of birth, and address. You'll need to upload date of birth verification for yourself and your beneficiary if you have not already done so. You can do this later, but we do require them to process your retirement. If you plan on naming a living trust as your beneficiary, you'll need to submit the trust documents to our office. And you'll need to know your bank's routing number and your account number. The only information required on the first tab is your 4-digit KPPA PIN. If you do not remember your PIN, you can click on the Need a New PIN link and have one sent to yourself. Once you enter your PIN and click the Get Started button, you'll move to the next section. The Online Retirement module is an 8-tab wizard, which will require you to complete information to move on to the next tab. You can see which section you are in as it will be highlighted blue, and there is a small arrow beneath the icon. The first tab is Member Information. This is your demographic information: your name, address, email address, date of birth, and phone number. All fields must be completed to move on to the next section. Please note any field in the process that has a red asterisk is required to be completed. If any of the information is incorrect, you can overwrite it. If you update your mailing address, make certain your employer is aware of your address change. You have to retype your email address to confirm accuracy. We also require a phone number where you can be reached in case we need to contact you. Last is the date of birth and gender. If you need to update these, please do so. If we already have birth verification for you on file, there will be a green check next to the Date of Birth Verified field. Otherwise, you need to submit one of the suggested birth verification types listed. Once all of the required fields are updated and complete, click the blue Next icon at the top or bottom of the page to move to the next section. The second tab in the Retirement module is your retirement information. Here you will need to indicate whether you are retiring early or normal retirement, disability retirement, or both. Normal or early retirement means you are retiring based on your age or service. Disability retirement through KPPA is a separate process from Social Security and requires additional information and documentation involving your illness or situation. We will focus on normal or early retirement during this presentation, but be mindful that disability retirement is a potential retirement avenue if you are eligible. Next, you need to enter a termination date. This is your last day of employment. It must be at least 1 day before your effective retirement date. If you terminated in the past and do not remember your exact termination date, make your best guess. You can type in the month, date, and year using forward slashes. You can use the calendar icon to the right to navigate to your date. The next field is your retirement date. Retirement dates are always on the first day of the month, even if you terminate in the middle of a month. If you choose any retirement date other than the first of a month, or if your termination and retirement dates are the same date, you'll receive an error message instructing you to make a correction. The next field is the retirement system or systems you are retiring from. At KPPA, we have CERS, KERS, and SPRS. One of the boxes must be checked. Make sure you check all the memberships you wish to retire from and do not check memberships where you do not have service. Additionally, we have reciprocity with the other retirement systems in the state. TRS is for certified teachers at school boards, LRP is for members of the General Assembly, and JRP is for judges at various courts in the state. If you have service at these and wish to use that service to count with KPPA service, you'll need to check those boxes as well. Additionally, you'll need to retire from those systems simultaneously. Do not check boxes if you do not have service in those systems. This may delay your calculation or make your form invalid. Once you have checked all the applicable boxes, click the blue Next icon at the top or bottom of the tab. The third tab involves your retirement beneficiary. At the time of retirement, you can name one person, your estate, a testamentary trust, or a living trust as your beneficiary. If you choose a person, we require the name, social security number, date of birth, gender, and relationship to you for that person. We also require that person's mailing address. If that person has the same address as you can check the button next to Same Address as Member, and your address will auto-populate. If you choose a living trust, we do require that you submit your trust documentation. If you choose a testamentary trust or your estate, no other information is required. I will choose Jane Doe, a spouse, and complete the fields, and forward by clicking the next button at the top or bottom of the tab. If you have not verified the date of birth of the beneficiary, a message will appear requesting that you upload or send in date of birth verification for your beneficiary. The fourth tab is to name the beneficiary of your $5,000 death benefit. This is eligible for anyone who retires with at least 48 months of service. This is not life insurance. It is a taxable payment. If you wish to use your retirement beneficiary as your death benefit beneficiary, you can check the box at the top and the information from the previous tab will auto-populate. You can also choose a different person, your estate, a testamentary or living trust, or you can name a funeral home. If you choose a different person from your retirement beneficiary, we will require all of that person's demographic information, but we do not require date of birth verification. If you choose a funeral home, we will require information from the funeral home, such as the name and address, a contact person there, and the license number and tax ID of the funeral home. You will need to upload or send in a copy of the funeral home's license. I'm going to stay with my spouse as the beneficiary, and once it is chosen, I can click on the blue Next icon at the top or bottom and move to the next tab. The fifth tab involves direct deposit. If you do not have a bank account and need to receive a monthly payment via check, you cannot use the online retirement application. There are two numbers we need to process direct deposit. The first is your bank's routing number, which is a unique 9-digit number that all banks have. There's a diagram on the bottom of the screen that shows the location of your routing number on a typical check. The system will verify your bank's name once you enter the number. We then require you to enter your account number. If your checking or savings account has a lot of zeros at the beginning, make sure to enter those as well. We will ask you to enter it twice to verify accuracy. You can choose to have your payment sent to a checking or to a savings account. Just make sure you indicate which one it is. There is some legal language that you should be aware of, verifying that your account is in an American bank and you will not be forwarding it to a foreign bank. Once you have entered all the information and have acknowledged the foreign bank notice, click the Next button at the top or bottom of the tab to move to the next tab. The sixth tab involves taxation of your monthly benefit. As your contributions to KPPA have been made with pre-tax dollars, your monthly payment will be subject to federal taxation. You can choose to have no taxes withheld from your payment, or you can choose to have taxes withheld according to your filing status. If you want to have additional taxes withheld in addition to the standard withholding, you can enter a set dollar amount. Once you have chosen your tax status, click the Next icon at the top or bottom of the tab. The seventh tab involves acknowledgement of termination of employment. There's a paragraph that must be read and acknowledged. You must scroll down the tab to read the text in order to check the acknowledgement box. The box is not active until you have scrolled down and read the entire paragraph. The text is an acknowledgement that you agree that you will observe a break in service before returning to work and that there is no prearranged agreement to return to employment. Additionally, we require you to review the Retired Reemployment Booklet, which you can open in a new tab by clicking on the link. Once you have read the booklet and checked the two boxes, you can click the blue Next icon at the top or bottom of the tab. The eighth and final tab is a Review and Submit section. This allows you to review all the information that you have entered and make certain it is correct before submission. We ask that you review each section behind collapsible fields to make sure spelling is correct for names, numbers are correct for direct deposit and tax withholding, and contact information is correct. If you need to change anything, you can click the icon in the wizard at the top of the page to navigate to that tab. If you agree that everything is correct, enter your 4-digit PIN again to serve as your electronic signature and click the green Submit icon. Once you click Submit, a screen will appear to remind you that we will be notifying your current employer to obtain Section H, which verifies your rate of pay for any future months, as well as your leave balances. Click the blue OK icon on the bottom to dismiss this screen. You will then see a success screen. At this time, you can print out a copy of the Form 6000 with the information you have supplied. This is a copy of what was submitted to your file. You can leave the retirement module altogether at this point by clicking the Return to Home icon, or if you want to go ahead and enroll for health insurance, you can click on the blue Health Insurance Elections icon, which will navigate you to a health insurance enrollment wizard. You will receive an email that will verify that your retirement form was received, as well as a copy of the completed Form 6000. Note that we will need a completed Form 6010, an insurance application if you are eligible and did not complete it already, and a Form 6025 if you choose to take some sort of lump sum payment.
Whether applying for retirement via paper application or online, there are a few important details we want you to remember. You must submit all required documentation, such as date of birth verification and name change verification, before your retirement application can be processed. Completing the retirement application initiates the process, but there is additional paperwork to complete by the deadline to ensure your retirement payment and insurance will begin on time. You can expect to receive a retirement packet with your retirement forms to complete and return to our office. Since bank verification of your routing number and account number aren't required when applying for retirement online, it is required to key the account information twice. It is imperative that all numbers are keyed, even zeros, when verifying the account number. Failure to transfer the numbers properly could delay your retirement benefits. For those members that wish to upload documents online, it is important that each document is uploaded separately. For example, Please do not upload your date of birth verification and name change verification together as one document. Documents are uploaded to your file under their appropriate form number. Grouping forms together could delay benefits if the required paperwork is misfiled. Once your retirement application has been processed, 2 additional forms will be required to finalize your retirement. A Form 6010 Final Estimated Retirement Allowance Option and a Form 6200 Application for Health Insurance. The Form 6010 Final Estimated Retirement Allowance Option looks similar to a benefit estimate. The payment options that are available to you, along with their benefit amounts, will be outlined on this form. You will need to select one of the payment options on the form by marking the box next to the correlating option, sign, date, and have the form witnessed. If you choose to take the actuarial refund, a Form 6025 Direct Rollover Direct Payment Election Form for a member or beneficiary will need to be completed, signed, and returned with the Form 6010. The Form 6200 Application for Health Insurance will also be in the retirement packet for those members that applied for retirement via paper. Members who file for retirement online receive a link at the end of the online application that takes them to the online insurance application. Each member will receive the appropriate health insurance application based upon their eligibility for Medicare. Those members that retire under age 65 will receive a KEHP health insurance application, and those members retiring 65 or older will receive a packet for the Medicare Advantage plan, which supplements their Medicare insurance. Verification of the member's enrollment in both Medicare A and B will be required for the Medicare Advantage plan. Also, those members which retire with hazardous service and are covering dependents on their plan will be required to submit the Form 6256 Designation of Spouse and/or Dependent Child for health insurance upon initial setup for health insurance and each year during open enrollment. This form is also found in the retirement packet. Once KPPA receives a valid copy of all required paperwork, the member's retirement and insurance can be processed, and their member self-service account will become a retiree self-service account. Now that the member has retired, they can expect their first retirement check to be mailed or deposited on the 14th of the month in which they retired. Whether the first check is mailed or direct deposited is dependent upon when KPPA receives the valid Form 6010. After the first retirement check, the member can expect that each check will be direct deposited on the 14th of the month. If the 14th falls on a weekend or a holiday, it will be direct deposited the business day prior. Federal taxes will be withheld based on the filing status indicated on the retirement application. Your retirement benefit may be subject to state taxes according to the benefit that is attributable to service on or before December 31st, 1997. For insurance to be effective the first day of the month in which you retire, all required paperwork must be valid and received by the last business day prior to your retirement date. Reemployment after retirement is something that changes fairly often. For a full outline of requirements to return to work after retirement, go to our website at kyret.ky.gov, click on Reemployment After Retirement under the Retiree tab. A post-retirement audit is performed on each account once all wages, contributions, and sick leave are reported to KPPA along with a termination date. Statutorily, KPPA is required to correct all errors after retirement. Benefit payments may be adjusted up or down if the audit results in more than a $2 difference in your monthly payment.